Hey everyone, Joe here. Well, I got something a little bit different today. What I have here is the Rakk Kagi gaming computer chassis. Now, you're probably wondering, Joe, this is a photography channel, why are you reviewing computer stuff? Well, computers are an essential part of today's digital photography. I'm also building up a new computer system, did photos, and of course, mostly aimed at video editing. And well, this is the computer chassis that I actually ordered, and I liked it so much, and I want to do a kind of an overview and kind of review of it at the same time. And additionally, there was no real reviews on this product online. There was a few unboxings and stuff, but essentially there was no real video on this. And I think that's a darn shame, to be quite honest, because this was such a great little computer chassis. It's actually a really, really good one. So I thought I'd do a little overview and review of it for everyone. So let's get in here and get started. Hey gang, just a quick reminder, if you want to help support my channel, using my affiliate links down in the description below is a great way to do that without any extra cost to you. If you're looking for the absolute best photo and video accessories, I have a number of curated lists on Amazon of gear that I use and highly recommend. Okay, so like I said, this is the Rakk Kagi computer chassis. Now, this is Rakk spelled R-A-K-K. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that correctly. And it's a company here in the Philippines. And now this chassis is actually made over in China. However, I think from what I understand, Rakk is a Filipino company and it's kind of designed mostly for here in the Philippines. That said, this is the Kagi, K-A-G-I. I'll link this down bottom to their official homepage. And well, I got this, and I really wasn't expecting a lot. I thought I'd get it. It's like on their website, they list it currently at 1,500 pesos, which may sound a lot if you're from the U.S., but when you divide that by 50, which is the current the exchange rate, it's only a $30 computer chassis. Now, of course, I bought mine on Lazada, and because they didn't ship down here to southern Philippines where I live, and I wanted it, so they didn't ship it. I had to buy it on Lazada, and I ended up paying a little bit more, but still, it was under $50 shipping and plus tax and everything. So, well, that was including tax. It was still under $50. And after I got it, I realized how nice this chassis really was, and I really wanted to do a review on it, because I was completely blown away for what I got. I wasn't expecting this chassis to be this good at this price range. Now, don't get me wrong, this isn't the most top of the line in chassis. There is no, even though it's see-through panels and stuff, it's not tempered glass or anything, and it's not going to be the best chassis for somebody who's a real super high-end enthusiast. However, if you're like me, you like smaller computers, because I don't like big computer chassis, especially standing on a desk, because I don't like putting mine in the floor. And this might be what you're looking for, because I like chassis that breathe and not too tall. And this really did fit that. Here we are. Now, this isn't that tall. Let me grab my tape measure here. From the bottom of the desk up, you're looking at right at 36 centimeters, or just above 14 inches for us U.S. folks. Width-wise, we're looking at about 10 3/4 inches, or roughly about 27 centimeters. And the depth-wise, when we're looking at here from the front to the back, we're looking at 13.5 inches, or, well, actually about almost 14 to count the back plate here. At about 36 centimeters. So this actually is not pretty bad if you're trying to sit it on a desk and say you have like a 21-inch monitor. It's not overbearing. Now, the actual body here, metal, for pretty much inside and out, it's actually pretty decent gauge steel. Now, I've bought a lot of cheap chassis and stuff over the years, especially when I first started building computers back mid-90s for myself. And, of course, a lot of them back then were really, really flimsy. You could almost bend them with your fingers. And I was kind of expecting that when I got this one. But this one's actually, metal is just as thick. It feels just as good as any other chassis I've seen from $75 to $100 price range. One thing I was worried about when I got it was how would the plastic feel. A lot of times you get these cheaper chassis, the plastic feels more like almost like a hard rubber, and this is not. This is a high grade industrial plastic to the level I think it's more like polycarbonate in a way that has such that type of and it's just feels really good, about like you'd expect when you bought like a DSLR camera. Really high grade, sturdy plastic. So anyway, we've talked about it. It's got 2 panels on each side. Each side has what do y'all know what you call it? The clear acrylic. Yeah, that's it. Acrylic side panels on it, on both sides, and it's got a lot of thumb screws at it. So let's go ahead and start pulling it apart here. Then I'll start going over the inner parts. Panels slide off. You know, pretty easy. Let me set this over here out of the way. Probably okay, right there. And I'll take this other one off. Set it right here out of the way. And we see we got our inner parts. Now, to pull, now the top and front also snap off. However, to get the top off, you need to unsnap the front first, which really isn't that big of a deal. What I found out, you can just kind of push right here on the corner. There we go. And it snaps right off. Now, on the inside here, we do find a kind of a little smaller mesh dust filter. So you got the metal grill in front, and you got like a thinner dust filter in front. I'm still kind of wondering if that's really going to be effective, but it shouldn't hurt airflow too much. So that itself is a good plus. Let me set this somewhere out of the way. Right here, I think. And once you got that done, simply get the top off. You push here on the back, and it snaps right off. Now the snaps here, just simple plastic. Not I've seen a lot of them that were metal that's screwed in. Is not. However, I do want to mention on both of these panels, the metal grill is actually screwed on. So if you wanted to take it off and paint it a different color, or the top a different color from the metal grill, you know, the option's there for you. So, you know, it's not too bad. Let me set this over here out of the way. Hopefully I don't get too much stuck in front of the computer. All right. Now here on back, we got the top little I/O, and got a nice little start button here. Kind of big, kind of nice. Feels actually really good quality. But this is one thing that makes it also a little pretty sturdy, since these are not mounted onto the front top. It's actually mounted onto a little plastic bracket on the bottom, which is actually pretty decent thick bracket. You have your headphone and microphone ports, 2 USB 2.0s, 1 USB 3.0. Then you get power and a hard drive LED. Now, one thing I kind of didn't really like too much is that right here, he did have the option, it looked like originally when they was designing it, to have an SSD and a micro SD card reader. And you can kind of notice that on here on the front cover, there's this small little square that's been capped off. Kind of wish they would have included that. I really do, as a photographer. But I can understand probably here, to get it into the price range, they had to omit something, and they just patched that there. I think I may actually, try to have somebody make me a little metal plate for it, my name or the computer name or something on it. Now originally this actually had a 200 millimeter fan on front, and you can see here little blue LEDs. If you order the white version or the black version, it's both the same blue LEDs. However, that fan's more decoration than it has actually being effective. Right now I have a couple of fans thrown in here. I got some more on order in case somebody notices. I have an airflow fan on this side and a static pressure fan over here. I got more fans on order. I just threw some in that I had just for kind of demonstration. So yeah, you can put a 200 millimeter fan on front. However, do keep in mind that fan thickness was really originally only 20 millimeters. So a bigger, thicker 200 millimeter fan probably will actually end up hitting the grill here, since it's rounded, whereas that one actually does fit behind it. Keep that in mind. What I actually recommend is just do what I did, get you some nice 200 millimeter fans, because you do have room to mount those here on front. Now, you do not have room to put a 240 millimeter radiator. And that's simply because here on the side, there would be not enough room for the side of the radiator, especially on the side of the hoses. That's just not going to happen. So you can't not put a 240 millimeter radiator on front. However, here on the back, you have another 120 spot, and you can put something like the H80i, at least the H80i GT or the H80i version 2 GTX, whatever. That one will fit. And that's because that one is actually listed by Corsair to be 123 millimeters by 155 millimeters. And we actually have quite a bit of decent room here. From the bracket here alone is like to the side of the case, it's like 16.5 centimeters, 1 centimeter more than you actually need. So you got clearance there, you know, from this little cap piece. And also from the bottom to the top, it's actually like where the fan would be, it's actually like 13 centimeters. So yeah, it will fit in there just like you think it was made for. And plus the fans you can see here, you can adjust it because it slides back and forth. It's got little slides, so you can kind of adjust it where you want it in case you're trying to fit your radiator in. So yeah, no worries there. Radiator fit in there quite well. Matter of fact, I'm betting on it so much I already bought mine. It's on order. So anyway, let's get in and talk a little bit more about the room on the chassis. Now, the frame itself is very similar to another small cube chassis from like Malaysia. I think they share the same frame, just different bezels. But I actually like this one better. But the overall metal, pretty decent. It's got a lot of cutouts, no rubber grommets. Of course, you're not expecting this at this price range. Got just very little flex in the frame, which is actually pretty decent. I've seen a lot of higher end models, you know, huge brand names that you can buy in the U.S. off Amazon and Newegg and whatnot, have a lot more flex in the frame, and this one doesn't have that much. Has a little bit you're going to expect, but actually not as much as you'd think. All right, so let's talk about wire clearance on the side here. On the side here, which is where you'll have like your CPU power and stuff, you have roughly about a ½ inch of clearance, just a little over about a centimeter and a half, roughly, pretty close clearance. So you shouldn't have any problem getting your 6-pin power connector or 4-pin power connectors. 4-pin, you know, pull it on over here, anything to plug up, get your power in, or run any other cables through his side. So there is room between the panel and this side. Now on this side over here, where you normally find your audio power in your SATA, not SATA, but your USB connectors, your power plugs, and front audio connectors. There's a little bit less of a gap. However, you know, it's still pretty decent. It's at least a centimeter. So you're not going to have any problem getting your little wires pulled over, which makes this thing really easy to wire up. The only thing is you see you pull the power cables and stuff out. You got your CPU cut out here, right here. You will not be able to access this with the power supply in, or if you see a motherboard's mounted, period, because the motherboard tray can't pull it out. So, but you know, that's to be expected in any cube chassis. You really can't, you know, you can only do so much. So anyway, I've talked about that. It does have 4 expansion slots. One of them's already got a little metal brace here, the replacement brace. The other 3 are the punch out type. Shouldn't be an issue for most folks. Let's talk about the power supply since I was just talking about that. Now back here you have 3 screws, and you can pull this cap off. When you do that, you can mount it on the back of your power supply, and you can slide your power supply in. 2 thumbs up on that one. So that's good. And over here on the side, we notice we have this little, you know, plastic tray here. Now at first I was like, plastic? This tray is for SSDs, and be quite honest, I've seen a lot of $100, $200 cases lately only have plastic braces on the back or inside of the case to hold SSDs anyway. This actually pulls out quite nice. The metal's nice, smooth, no sharp edges, and it holds, the little tray holds 2 SSDs, you know, 2.5 inch. It slides in there quite nice. You can see it fits nice. You can screw that back on. Just gotta keep it finger tight. So unless you're some kind of moron that wants to torque everything down like like they're building a bulldozer. You're not going to worry about ever breaking that. That's perfectly fine. Now over here we have our hard drive case. It does hold two 3.5-inch drives. Now it's got the little cheap plastic braces. You know, they're cheap, but you know, it's not too bad. And actually on the bottom here, you can actually mount another 2.5-inch drives to the bottom. So if you could have up to 4 SSDs in it if you wanted to, or 2 SSDs and 2 3.5s. I know on their webpage they kind of list like a 3.25 drive, you know, for like CD-ROMs and stuff. I don't know where they got that from. There's no way you can put a CD drive in this thing. So if you have to make a lot of CDs, you consider getting that external one. Now I have a spare hard drive in here put in just to show you, you know, the braces go on it. Actually pretty decent. They do have a little bit of slack here when you put them in. Let me see if I can slide it in from this angle. Not holding my mouth right here though. There we go. A little loose, but it's not going to fall out. If you got a drive that's vibrating a lot or something like that might become an issue with you. I wish there was a way you could put a one screw in there just to make sure there's no vibration. That's only real downside I see about these little trays here. But since we're talking about this area anyway, the power supply I ordered that's supposed to come in pretty soon. I got the little Corsair VS 550 because you know, most of the power cable is not going to be seen anyway. Most of it's below here. I didn't think I'd have to worry about, you know, spending a little extra on a modular one. However, after getting the chassis, realizing how very little room you got right up in here to put power cables, if you're going to put 2 drives in the system, get a modular power supply. You know, 2 3.5-inch drives. Of course, if you're only going to put one 3.5-inch drive, then a non-modular power supply should be perfectly fine. So that you may run into some, you know, cable management areas trying to get everything in without, you know, just completely, you know, looking like a rat's nest in there. Best way I can say. And one last little note on the power supply. It does have a lot of room under here on the bottom. Let's measure this out. The space between the 3.5 centimeters. That's a lot of air gap under here. And it's got the little cheap little wire mesh, you know, dust filter. I guess it'll work most of the part. You know, that's common on most any of them. Just suck air through the bottom. But at least you're not going to be sucking. You got plenty of room for it to breathe. That's good. Now, I think most people are going to be putting this on their desk anyway, so it's not that big of an issue. And like I said, overall, metal feels really good. It's very solid. As good as any other higher-end case I've seen out. There are no rubber grommets, but the holes here are the metal's been rolled, so there's no sharp edges. I've messed with cases before where you one wrong move and you're going to be going to the doctor to get stitches. This is not one of them. I was actually shocked how nice it's put together. You get an accessory box to come in one of your drive trays. In here you get a extra package of extra screws and stuff. It already has 6 of your basic standoffs already put in for your micro ATX boards. But if you have a really long one, they do give extra standoffs. A few cable ties here. And something I'm really shocked. They also sent a small little screwdriver in case you don't have one of these smaller screwdrivers. Hey, it's extra screwdriver. You know, happy to see that. But, you know, all in all, I think the screwdriver and the fan, I would rather see them omitted and SSD, you know, put in there instead. Not SSD, but SD drive put in, you know, for, you know, memory cards and stuff. But that's a personal thing. You know, I'm a photographer, you know, of course I want that. But that said, that way it would probably ended up being a 2.0 anyway. And been slow, so why even bother putting in? Just rather use the one I got on my desk anyway, that's USB 3.0. It'd be much faster. But anyway, that's it for this review. Let me see if I have more things. Almost forgot. I'll find that. Gonna let you know the size here. From the back of the video card, or where the video card would be, in case anybody's wondering. If you put a like I got here the Corsair AF 120 here in the back. You got 10.75 inches. You know, 10 3/4 inches, or I would say 27, safely 27, between 27.5 centimeters. If you're really pushing it, I would say just 27 centimeters. So, for, quite long there. Most cards and stuff, unless you're getting something huge end, I don't think nobody's going to be putting a huge 1080 Ti in this thing that's that freaking long anyway. You get a lot of them, especially from Zotac, that are actually quite compact. Height-wise, let me forget about that. It says here we have, from the top of the rail, from the bottom, of course, you got to consider if you get a CPU cooler or whatever, there's going to be another, might as well minus 1 centimeter off that. To the top of the tray here, we have 18, so it's roughly 17 centimeters. Should work. Also, take this into account of the extra room you have on top of here. So from the bottom of the tray here to the actual grill, you got about another easily 3.5 more centimeters. So like the Corsair 212 Evo will in fact fit. I actually ordered one of those too. Even though I'm putting out the H80i, version 2 in here, I ordered one just as a backup, just in case there was any issues, since they're so affordable and everything. So yeah, you got plenty of room for a tall radiator style CPU cooler too. So anyway, I think this is probably one of the hidden gems here in the Philippines. This case is actually punches above its price range. It's actually a really good case. So much so I'm actually going to get this same case for my daughter, and one of my friends has already seen the case, and he wants one for himself too. So they're actually really decent cases. It's really hard to find cases here in the Philippines on a budget that actually perform and or this nice, to be quite honest with you, without paying huge amounts of money for them. So anyway, my honest opinion is, if you're looking for a micro ATX case, you're not planning on going SLI or anything, you just want a single video card, put in a case that has plenty of air room, moving potential, get this one. It's going to be a really good case for you. Even if you set it in the floor or set it on a desk, it fits good for both, and it looks real stylish. So anyway, I highly recommend it, folks. I really do. But anyway, hope everybody enjoyed this. I'm going to put some videos here in just a second. Not videos, but photos. Let me get that out correctly, so everybody can look at some photos and stuff I took. So anyway, hope everybody liked this video. See y'all in the next one. Hey everyone, I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, how about giving me a thumbs up? Thumbs up's always highly appreciated. If you didn't like this video, then feel free to give it a thumbs down as well. Now, if you're not a subscriber to my channel yet, go ahead and click below to go ahead and subscribe. My name is Joe, and I'll see you in the next video.